In the year of 2022, I was able to gain and lose 30 pounds, all in the span of 1 year. Now let's back it up and let me tell you how it all started. So I first met my husband in year 2021, June 1st to be exact. We fell in love. I'm talking about we was going out to eat every night. We was eating Wendy's, Baba's. If you're in the Chicago area, you know. Mild sauce, extra lemon pepper on them fries, you just know. We was eating whatever and whenever we wanted, and I ain't care nothing about no weight, no scale, no calories, no macros, none of that. And while it was fun and exciting in the moment, I soon started to notice some changes in my body. Changes that I really was not so happy with. It got to the point where I didn't even want to look in the mirror. Like my clothes were starting to rip, literally. I wish I had pictures to show that, but I was just so ashamed of how my body was changing and how it was starting to be so noticeable. It wasn't until one day I decided to just finally step on the scale and see where I'm at so I could have some type of idea of what I need to work towards. I stepped on that scale and it said 190 pounds. Now keep in mind, my weight in high school was roughly around 145 pounds to 150 pounds. And I was pretty much able to eat anything I wanted, and I didn't really see any physical changes because my metabolism was so great. I guess I thought when I got out of high school that I was going to be able to keep up that same physique and that same dynamic, but no ma'am, no Pam. So when I looked at that scale and I saw what it had read, your girl was distraught. But I knew I had one of two choices. I could either soak in my misery and let it get worse, or I could decide to start making a change and start taking little baby steps to get towards my goal. My goal was to lose 30 pounds, and I did not know how long it would take, but I knew I wanted to start. My husband was already into fitness, and so I had asked him, can you please train me, please? He said yes, and we started immediately. It all started in the basement of his father's house. HIIT workouts. He would have me do some resistance training, and your girl was able to lose a total of 5 pounds. Now, it may have been mostly water weight, but I was still happy to see that scale go down a little bit, okay? Eventually, I worked up the courage and the confidence to get a gym membership. Once I started my gym membership, I decided, why not start recording my workouts? So I started recording my workouts. I was posting them on Instagram. I was actually getting some nice traction. But then I noticed the scale stopped moving. At first, it would go down 5 pounds a month, then 10 pounds a month, then 15, then next thing you know, 20, then next thing you know, 30. And then I noticed it kind of plateaued. It stopped moving downward. In fact, it would fluctuate between 160 and 165 quite often. I started to get frustrated. Now, I did learn about a term called body recomposition, and that kind of made me feel somewhat better about it. I had to understand that my body was probably putting on muscle, and I tried to focus less of what the scale read and more of what progress photos showed. But if I'm being honest, I knew that my body fat was still higher than what I wanted it to be. And it was not until recently, and when I tell you recently, I mean last month, that I actually started to make changes that would get me to the results I was looking for. So what are my current goals, you might ask? Great question. I took a little body fat scanner test to see where my current body fat percentage is. Granted, it's not the most accurate machine, but I wanted to have some type of idea, and it read about 22.7% of body fat. Now that is higher than what I would like. My current goal is to get to at least 18%. From there, I want to see if I could get lower. But I don't know. I'm just here to enjoy the ride. I want to get to my first goal at least. And like I mentioned, I was ranging in that 160 to 165 pound range for years, okay? At least 2 years. And my goal for the longest was to get out of the 160 range and stay out of the 160 range. And while that is still a part of my new goal and my new focus is to focus on my body fat percentage. So here's what I've been doing to get to 18% of body fat. Number one, I decided to commit to at least one thing that I had to do every single day, no matter how I was feeling, no matter what my mind was telling me. I decided, you know what? Let me get at least 10,000 steps every day. This literally started with me texting my husband maybe a month ago, telling him I don't trust myself. I keep failing on my diet. I just want to win. I just want to break this cycle already. And he told me, let's get 10,000 steps a day. So for the past 30 days, your girl has been getting at least 10,000 steps every day. But not only that, I also have an accountability partner, which happens to be my husband. He had me go into the notes of my iPhone and he had me create a chart. The chart has what my weight is, the amount of steps I'm taking every day, and the amount of calories that I'm consuming every day. This is so helpful for me because in the notes app, you can literally share it or collaborate with somebody so that they can have access to that chart as well. So my husband goes in every day that I log what I've done, how many steps I've taken, what my calories are. He will go in and he will see what I'm doing. So that way I know somebody is watching what I'm doing. I can't just do whatever I want. And that has been so helpful to me, y'all. Another thing that I have been doing is tracking my macros. Now, in the past, I would practice portion control, and that did work for me in the first year. But like I told y'all, I ended up hitting a plateau, and I was trying to figure out what can I do differently. And for the longest, I hated the word calorie deficit. If anybody said it, I didn't want to to hear them or nothing else they had to say. Anybody mentioning a food scale, I turned my chin up to them. I didn't want to hear nothing about that. But I realized that if I wanted to get different results, I had to do something differently. So I do now track my food. I use an app called MyFitnessPal. They have a premium version, but I personally use the free version and it does me just fine. I also use a food scale that I got from Amazon. I can link that in the description as well. And I make sure that I'm hitting my protein goals. Now in the past, when I was just practicing portion control, I was not tracking my macros. I was not paying attention to how much protein, how much fat, how many carbs I was taking. I was just winging it. And while that did work at first, it stopped working. So I had to start doing something different. Making sure you get that protein in is so important, especially for my particular goals, because I'm looking to not only lose fat, but also build muscle. And so making sure that I'm giving my body the proper nutrition is so vital. You want to see them gains in the gym? Well, you're going to have to make sure you're getting that protein in, okay? The third thing that I've been doing differently in order to get out of my plateau, actually creating a workout split. Now, I have tried it to where I would just wing my workouts, and that was cool, but I really want to optimize my results. So I literally had my husband create me a workout split, and your girl has been seeing those gains. But not only have I created a workout split, I'm lifting heavier. I used to lift very light, which is cool if you don't really want the gains. But if you want to grow, if you want to get more muscle, if you want to get stronger, you're going to have to increase that weight. Now, I'm not saying ego lift, but do a weight that is challenging, but it's not too hard to where you're breaking form. You want to keep the right form, but make sure you're pushing yourself, because that's how you're going to get stronger. That's how you're going to grow. All in all, your girl has been at this journey for 30 days, and I have been seeing progress. Okay, your girl is down 5 pounds, and I've only been at this for 4 weeks, so that's about a pound per week, which I'll take, because like I said, I had hit that plateau and wasn't seeing the scale move at all. So your girl will take it. I hope this video encourages you to start your journey if you have not already, and if you have and you're just looking for that extra push, make sure you're doing everything you do with intentionality. Get your sleep, drink your water, lift them weights, get your protein, get your fats, get your carbs, and keep God first. Okay, but let me know if y'all want to see more content like this. I'm planning on doing a video of showing my workout split. If that's something that y'all want to see, let me know in the comment section down below. But I love you. Jesus Christ loves you. Peace, love, and blessings. Mwah.